Hello there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. This is the podcast where we look at an upcoming event in the stars and numbers, the Astrology and Numerology, to help us navigate the energies for our highest good. And in this case, we're already in the event. It started today. I'm recording this on May 25th, which is the day that Jupiter leaves Taurus, where it's been for a year, and enters Gemini for the next year. And this is a very big event. It's a sign of changes to come, especially because Gemini is more flexible. Gemini is more open to change and new ideas and looking at language differently, looking at wisdom in a new way, and chatting and talking and communicating a lot. And Jupiter expands everything. So Jupiter will be expanding, doing things in a big way regarding how we share ideas. And that would include what we hear in the media, not just what we're saying or what we're hearing from others. So it's all about considering different viewpoints. Gemini is the twins, and so we're going to have visionary conversations. We're going to have a lot more teamwork. Now, at the same time, Jupiter can go too far in the expansion direction where it's overdoing things or overconfident. So you may have interactions either from yourself or with others where there is a sense of things coming to a head and overconfidence or too much data, too much info, so that we get distracted from the actual core element or core truth of the matter. Gemini is very curious. Jupiter wants to see beyond the horizon, and so there can be this sense of overcompensating sometimes for our beliefs or our ideals. Now, during Jupiter's journey through Gemini, which will last approximately a year, we as a collective, as a society, will need to look at ideas in a new way. And the last time this happened was 12 years ago. That's how long Jupiter's cycle lasts. It's approximately 1 year in each sign. So when we explore new meanings, personally and collectively, it will be through a new sense of language, using words in a different way, paying more attention to the actual words and the sound of those words, and generally being a lot more adaptable to listening to a different perspective being shared. So approaching ideas and beliefs in a new way. Now, Jupiter is the fortunate, lucky, abundant planet, and Jupiter is very much about trust in all that is good in life. And what Jupiter will really help us with is, after the very patient, slow-moving, grounding year in Taurus, Jupiter now wants to move forward with not only being in goodness, but doing good, and then receiving goodness as a result. So be good, do good, and you'll receive good. You'll get good. You'll have it come back to you. And this will be a cycle that will be very noticeable now after the sojourn in Taurus and prior to that in Aries. So we're coming through a 3-year cycle, really, that began with Aries and continued to go deeper in Taurus, and now is taking flight in the air sign of Gemini. So this is a really joyous occasion because we want to explore. Jupiter loves to explore. Gemini is curious and loves also going out into new areas of consciousness and in life in general. On the other hand, Jupiter is considered by the ancient astrologers, Hellenistic astrology, to be in detriment in Gemini. And so in detriment means it's not its favorite sign. But when a planet is in detriment, it gives us a really good opportunity to see what tactics or what beliefs, ideas are not actually working in our favor. For example, there can be a tendency for too much expansion with Jupiter, or there can be, because we're in Gemini, which is a sign of ideas, there could be ideas that we are thinking about and talking about, but we're not actually applying these ideas. And so there can be an info overload because Jupiter expands the information side of Gemini. So we need to be very aware of really walking our talk and listening to how we're thinking about things, refreshing all of those thoughts frequently, not getting into a loop, and allowing the impulse that we have to explore, even exploring things that seemed formerly very exotic, and that could be literally or figuratively exotic countries, exotic cultures. We can really go there now and not be caught up in the idea of doing something, but literally having some fun, feeling that sense of fresh air. It is an air sign, Gemini. And at the same time, keeping in mind that there may be an initial difficulty to set limits because Jupiter likes to expand everywhere, or to stay on track because Gemini loves to just explore and keep exploring. So staying on track and being in a groove where you actually accomplish something is also something to watch for. Now, Jupiter magnifies influence, abundance and prosperity, wealth, well-being, good fortune, positivity, good luck. The shadow side signifies overindulgence in any area of life, so going to excess and going overboard in your ideas or overboard in your commitments that you then cannot fulfill. So Jupiter changing signs from Taurus, which is a little bit more conservative and really holds Jupiter in check a little more, to an air sign like Gemini, that really signals a major shift in how we use this Jupiterian energy. So you want to be aware that the exploration, the travel, the air travel, everything will move more quickly. And just to hone it in and take a deep breath when you feel yourself getting a little bit out of control. So the lovely thing about Gemini, though, that it's a very playful sign, and Jupiter is very much connected to joy and happiness. So there can be this beautiful interaction, very playful interaction, that stimulates us in a very creative way and allows us to have more fun. Even when we're discussing challenging subjects, there can be a sense of humor that is brought to the table through Jupiter and Gemini that really lightens things up and allows what may be a difficult topic or a challenging decision to integrate without so much trauma or pain. The ability to actually make light of something and to laugh at your own foibles, your own mistakes, is a true, remarkable healing modality. So humor is going to be on a rise. And of course, we don't want to go to the dark side of humor where we're actually making fun of others. We want to play on the absurdity sometimes of situations and be able to laugh even at that, because the laughter then will help us to relax our jaw, take a deep breath, get clear again, loosen our tongue, not have it tight in our mouth. And that then allows us to be creative and receive inspiration. So guard against over-identifying with your thoughts or ideas just for the sake of the idea itself without applying it. That really is one of the major keys, where Gemini likes to go from one thing to the next really fast and keep, exploring with that curiosity. It is absolutely vital in order to take advantage of Jupiter's positive energy and abundance and expansion that is now in the realms of communication and moving really briskly towards a new destination, that we become adaptable, playful, and responsible, and not leave that out of the equation. Now, there is a sense of open-mindedness that comes as well, because Jupiter likes things to be really beyond the horizon in terms of the understanding, and trying new ideas is a big deal as well. You have a huge appetite with Jupiter. Well, you can have an actual appetite, but an appetite for learning and discovery. Jupiter is the ruler of the sign of Sagittarius, which governs higher learning. So higher education and taking courses online or getting a degree. Those are really fun and exciting for Jupiter. And Gemini loves to learn as well, loves to read books and just get into that rarefied air element of Gemini to explore. So there's an insatiable curiosity element here about you and others that you really can use to your advantage to give slack to a side that you may not agree on, but allow it to express itself. Expression is one of the keys to Gemini, and there will be a lot of wanting to express myself moments in the next year, and we need to just be very open to the different flavors, aromas of people's experiences on Earth that allow them to feel a certain way. And this will be one of the big tests, actually, is for us to be more adaptable and more open and more flexible in that sense. So we want to communicate and collaborate in a way that fosters a lot of generosity, which ties in with prosperity, which ties in with opportunity. And the more open we are, the more of those wonderful frequencies, prosperity, opportunity, we are going to actually create in our own lives by being flexible, by being open, by allowing ourselves to be surprised without being shocked. So sometimes there is something that happens that may feel very jolting, but it is our perspective of the situation that then either turns it into, okay, well, this is just a really big change I wasn't expecting, surprise, as opposed to, oh my God, I'm in shock and I can't get over it, and then we emotionalize the situation. So fortunately, Gemini is an air sign. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, and so there is a sense of a fast movement through any challenges that can help alleviate any stuck energy. So this is really lovely for forward momentum and letting go. Also, jumping to conclusions is one of the things to watch for. Sometimes that's a good thing. You can find a solution very quickly. You want to, though, be very conscious of not quickly disregarding some of the feedback, not considering it. So flitting about, again, that's a Gemini thing. Not jumping to conclusions before you have all the data and it's all processed and digested, which can happen very quickly in some situations, and in others we really do need to sleep on it. Now, one of the other things I'll mention here is because Gemini rules the airwaves, and Gemini and Aquarius are very connected to the media, the age we live in. And as you know, Pluto recently moved into Aquarius and will be there for the next 20 years, except for a little stint this autumn between September and November, where it dips into Capricorn for just 2.5 months. Other than that, Pluto is now in Aquarius, and Aquarius is a sign that's trine to Gemini. They're both air signs. They govern the airwaves. So Pluto in Aquarius and Jupiter in Gemini are going to amplify the media. And that also means propaganda, misinformation, getting out of hand, because Jupiter makes it all really big. And Pluto is all about control and power. So be aware of what you watch and listen to, whether it's online or on your TV set or whatever the case may be. There is going to be a lot of wanting to control how you think about situation, energy in the media in general. So find some alternate sources whenever you can, especially as we move into the next few months. Things are really going to be huge because of Pluto's dip into Capricorn, which is the sign of leadership and top-down leadership. There's going to be some maneuvering for your attention in the airwaves, right? So be very aware of that and take a back seat, or take a bird's eye view is an even better analogy considering Gemini's air sign. Take a bird's eye view with everything that you hear. Don't accept it without doing research, because there is really going to be propaganda wars, in a sense, over the next year. So that was really the last sort of little PS or big PS I wanted to mention at the very end here. It is, for me, even though Jupiter is in detriment in Gemini, I love this placement myself because of the fire and air mixture that really does bring a brisk energy and helps us to really leave behind the baggage more easily that we may have been carrying around. So it's wonderful for feng shuiing your life, clearing out some closets, right? We're in spring here in the Northern Hemisphere, and Jupiter literally just entered. We have another few weeks of just being able to take advantage of the situation and clear the energy. And in general, it's going to be fast-paced. So enjoy this whole year of Jupiter in Gemini and have a beautiful week. And I will see you in next week's Star Codes podcast.